Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Sam Durbidge, or Samuel Durbidge, also Samuel S. Durbidge, and there's just different ways to associate my name. And so I wanted to let you be aware that there are many things that we can look into, and it's going to be a little strange, called the G-matrix or geomatrix calculation, which is a biblical calculation site and connections that I'm aware of. You'll have to find that out mostly on your own. I'm not really going to share it unless individuals want to talk to me personally about it. Then I can reach out and give information if I feel comfortable providing that information to you. Because really what it does, and it's really good information, it's all over Twitter. Others have shared the information of the site and other ways to calculate. And it tells you anything that others say is connected to some form of coding that's being said about us in a oneness connection. And it also may give us answers to why our life is going the way it is and what it's going to go through, or why it's been directed different directions because of other forms or other beings or other individuals directing and making it that happen that way. And so I started looking at this and I'm like, okay, it gives you a heads up of what they're doing with their biblical codes and controls. But they follow a different form of coding. But the geometric code is a biblical, Jewish, and other connection, English, and different calculations that basically connect with who you are, or what you say and what you've said, what others are saying. Even if you don't know you're saying it, you are being influenced by others who are also being influenced by the source. But we are also saying things that are coming directly from source all the time. Everybody is. But others are getting it from those that are pretending to be source, that we are being triggered to say or being inclined to say. And then we, for whatever reason, because of frequency controls or whatever's going on, and once you realize that that's happening, or you start catching on to a possibility of it, you start to free yourself to be the more you, rather than what others expect you to be and what others tell you to be. And you start to finally follow a script of honesty and integrity. I found out that my name connection in different ways have different connected meanings. And one of them that I like is about basically lover of Jesus Christ, or lover of Christ, conscious connection basically, or loves Christ. And then another is a connection to rescue children. And I was like, that's really cool, because that's what I want. I want all children and all individuals to be rescued. And so my name connects with that connection of rescued children. And I was like, that is really cool that my name in gematria adds up to different variations of things. And then it has some concerning stuff that I won't bring up that it also says it connects with. But it connects with the past, future, and present. So this, I think, is for the past, maybe into the future. And so there are some things I won't bring up or talk about because it's just not positive. Or it doesn't come across, even if it has a positive meaning to it. If I say and bring it up, it's going to come across as a very negative way of awareness of something. And I don't want to spread that pushery of ideas. But it seems like it's in the coding and it's connected to me, where it was brought up years ago about me, and it was actually doing it for the purpose of my creation to be, and maybe referring to me, or a statement or a play or a game, to bring me or someone with my similar name into existence, or to do the plan that they want to put forth, or put forth, or put towards us. And so there's many different there's many different things that they want to have happen and to just occur. And so some of the things that may seem to be us could be the prime creator of all things talking through us, even from all our accidental words and our accidental miswritings. There's always a purpose and there's always something to it. And I kind of always felt that, but I never knew what it meant. So when you do any form of writing, creative writing, when I learned in high school, I actually took sort of a extracurricular class on the side that didn't really give me much of a grading or whatever, but it was what they had me do is they had me do creative stuff where you would write something down, and when you write these things down, you're supposed to write and not stop. So you just write whatever comes to mind. You just write it all, and then you don't correct any grammar or any issues at all with it, or any punctuation. You just write it all and see where it lies. And not really where it lies as in lying. See where it ends up, like how it comes out. And so sometimes with creative thought and writing your ideas, you have to just keep on writing what comes to mind and just keep writing it without stopping. And you just say what you need to say, and then you do the corrections later. But the more you do it, the more creative you become. And so creative writing is where you just write things out. And I've always followed that in my life ever since I learned that. I really liked the way that I was taught in high school at the time from that teacher. And I don't even remember her name. It was really, really impressive on the side that they let me go towards. And it helped me realize something that really magnified my life for the future. And I never thought about it, and it was when I think it was when I was a senior, and it really got me to realize a connection. But I also connected with different things as a junior and senior in high school, where I went and did a internship at a credit union, and it was interesting because it was called Horizon, and a credit union, and it was interesting that we had a Horizon credit union in our school as well for that I did for credit also my senior year. So it was really interesting that my junior year, and it might have been my junior and then into my senior year, I learned how to do things that I never thought I would ever learn to do. Okay? So what was really cool is I learned to associate certain ways of thinking and being that got me to be more aware of how I am important and I can be more than what I was told I was. And I always wanted to be a writer in high school and stuff, but because of my spiritual teachings and my dad's teachings and mom encouraging me to do business stuff or certain things that would connect with what my religious scriptural blessing told me I should be doing and looking towards. But then I wanted to do what it said, but then others were telling me do it this other way, and that it's part of the blessing, and missing the other halves of the blessing of telling me to do all this other stuff that fit me. And I just couldn't figure it out, but everybody wanted me just to figure it out for myself, but everybody was pushing me and like pulling the baby apart, pulling me apart. And this type of story, like I was being pulled apart, and I didn't know what side really cared about me. And so it didn't really, or what really mattered, or what was really true, because I kept being pulled at every side. And the one thing that really mattered to me that I wanted to be was, if I had my choices, I never would have, if I knew what I know now, I would have done, well, I don't know. It's good that I learned what I learned, because it got me to realize what I need to know now. So I wouldn't change what occurred necessarily, because it would change the whole dynamic of who I am. Maybe I would be better. I don't know. Maybe I would be differently aware. of inner self prayer and thinking and stuff, but I think I had to go through in the way that I went through, but it doesn't mean that I needed to. I think if I was taught the proper way, was shown it and experienced sooner, I think I would have caught on sooner, and I would have been able to do the right way if I knew that what was needed to be done in the way that I didn't know mattered to me, or that would matter to me, that it does now. And now I'm aware of what's really important so that I can keep on being more of that importance. But what I really do miss is if I didn't have and I wasn't going to go into all of this, but if I didn't have seminary and didn't do those things, I never would have known the understanding or the awareness of prayers and blessing things. Or maybe I would have if I was taught differently through seeing The Secret, but I would have defined it differently or looked at it differently, and maybe not ever had a spiritual experience connected with it. So I think the balance was good, that it was there. It just could have been done better. But what was sad is if I had the opportunity to go towards what I really wanted, or what really fit with me, that I felt good at being, that I felt was my calling, that I think someone else stole from me or made it so that they could take it and I wouldn't be able to do what really would fit with me or what really was supposed to be me, was I would have been a photographer, went into photography. I would have learned to do more art like I already kind of was doing. I probably would have done more artistry, photography, and writing. I would have done all of that. I probably would have went into a writing school rather than a business school or a religious school. And I may have become my own perfect self. I would have written some amazing fictional stories, I feel. I've already written some on the side or whatever, but then I found out that some of these stories and we were being tricked with society, and maybe I never would have learned about the fact that we're all one and that there's trickery systems going on, and I would have been stuck in those systems, and eventually I may have noticed those systems and woke up from them faster maybe, or I would have been stuck on their side, controlled, but not knowing everything that they were doing, or I would have caught on and I wouldn't have been right about it. I would have stood up to it sooner than I have now. Maybe I would have caught on to it sooner and recognized how religions are connected to it, but then would I have been religious at all or spiritual at all? Or would I have been more of a scientific connection of maybe agnostic way of thinking of things, but missing the connections of vegan foods and pure foods and all of that. So I think having it go the direction that it went, it got me to see the balance of everything. Now, why do I bring that up? Because it seems like that was my purpose. It had to go the way that it went for this timeline, and maybe others are a little bit different, and maybe they all kind of go into the same connection eventually. And I think it had to happen so that I could finally see the connections that are there that fit and that really matter to be told and to be talked about and to be done. And so that's what I think just occurred, was I was so confused about life that I needed to see what really is going on without really seeing it going on, but catching the hints and the highlights here and there, and noticing things that reach out to me and seeing inconsistencies that just don't fit, that are causing enslavement and harm to children and was being done to me and others, and tricking us from telling us the fullness of what we really are and could have been more of. And so now that I know the truth, or am aware of it, to most of the truth of what I've uncovered, and saw that there's more to it and there's more going on, it helped me be aware of what is happening, and that there is a type of thing where we're repeating ourselves within different lifetimes and connections. and we are a different soul group connection. So one of the things that I realized that I saw was there's a word called reunification. That name connects with my name, Samuel S. Dervish. Why? Why does a geometric figuring connect with reunification? I don't know. I looked into it, and whenever it bolds reunification, I started looking. The politicians are bringing that up. Many are talking about it. And if you replace reunification with my name, you start to see connections, and you go, okay, something is going on. And they're talking about helping him, and then they're talking about harming him, if that is what's really being talked about. Some are talking about like helping and wanting to help, and now allowing it to be helped this year, finally. And I'm like, why is it all of a sudden switching from them not wanting to help me to now they want to help within these groups, or as if they're choosing to? And I'm like, it's because of the Aquarius age shift. I saw several patterns and connections, and it's all because this is the age and I'm the key to the Aquarius age. And whatever I choose or go towards is what everybody else will end up achieving and having. Whatever I feel drawn to that we all should have is what everybody else will have. And if people bless me to have those things, then they'll get more for allowing me to have what's required, which I already knew already because higher self told me that, which was strange to me. And I'm like, how is that possible? Also, I'm 36 this year. Yeah, 36 years old. So here's something that's another interesting fact. So when I was born in 1985. In January, I was 3 days late. So according to traditional astrology, I would be a double Capricorn. But if you go by the 13th sign astrology, I don't know about the 14th sign and all of that. I'd have to look into it. It would say that I would be a double Sagittarius, which are two opposing signs in a way. Well, not opposing sign. One is ground and one is fire. One burns the ground to the ground or creates ground from fire and lava. But what is interesting is I am a B negative blood, which is water. So water flourishes land and lets things grow, and it puts out fire. And so I would be I'd be a connection to a double form, because a negative is divine. So I'm a B, but now I'm another B negative, a divine B, which would be double essence of water. And so is how I look at it, or there's some other connections there. And here's what's interesting. I was born on a Friday, which would be the land day, the earth creation species day, which would be the 5th, or which would be the 6th day, the day of creation of man and creatures and animals and all of that. And then the day before that, the Thursday, which would be Aquarius day, would actually be the creation of the fowl in the air and the water, so the birds and flying creatures and things, and the creation of those creations that are in the seas, in the water monsters, huge and regular sea creatures and plant life in the water and all of them. And so, and the fowl in the air, the birds and things. So it's interesting that the fowl in the air and the water and the sea were created first. Then the land creatures and stuff next for this last day, creating a man. So it's interesting that that's how it happened. So Aquarius Day would be Thursday. Now Thursday is also considered the abundance day, the day of financial angels helping you. You can pray and ask, and then Friday you receive it. Friday is the receiving day, the beginning day, the new beginning day. That's what Friday is, or the new flash day, Friday, flash day, or Friday. So frying, it's frying you. it's charging you, supercharging Friday is a weekend, a rest, ready for the resting weekend or rest day. It's supposed to be Saturday where you sit and do things, but most people move around and do a lot that day. So not everybody feels like Saturday is really anything. So there you go. So Saturday is rest day. Now, here's something that's really interesting. So Friday, you would do it to heal your wounds or your situations. You would pray for it on Thursday or meditate for it Thursday, and the angel beings that are abundance, you call upon them, and then they give you the blessing on Friday. Tuesday, you would also call upon them, and then they would bring blessing, or at least one of them. So Tuesday and Thursdays are both days that you pray and ask for blessings to happen. Now it's interesting because Wednesday is the wedding's day, the receiving day of the wedding. And Friday would be the new beginning day. Wednesday would be the wedding day and creation of a wedding, the new wedding. The wedding is now here. The wedding is now happening. It's the separation from darkness and light, but now darkness and light are coming together, creating a balance. And then miracle day then creational new change is Thursday, Aquarius day. So here's why I bring that up. I was writing a few things down. Now this doesn't connect too much, but it kind of does. So Chinese New Year would be 1984 was Rat, and 1984 would have ended after January of 1985. Or a little bit after that, possibly by the 12th. This year it's the 12th. I don't know if it was that year. But by the 12th of February, which would be the new year, actual new year, from what I researched, and I could be totally wrong. You'll have to do your own research. I think everybody has their different opinions about it. But there is, from what I saw, that's why I get confused. Because when I used to go to a Chinese restaurant of family friends, their calendar said that if you were born in 85, then you would be an ox. But I didn't realize that 85 to them would be after their new year, not our new year in the States. So it's a different new year for Chinese than it would be that. And China is connected to a lot of lore and a lot of information of ancient texts and healing knowledge that came from Christ in other forms. They even have paintings of Christ's resurrected form or ascended fifth dimension density form, not dimension, but density, going to light body form, going to or being in China, teaching them things and giving them information, because he went to other lands, is what was said when he came to the apostles. He's got to go to other lands. Well, he went to other lands, and that was one of the other lands. And they have records or paintings that he was there, and ancient knowledge. And Tibetan monks have all that information of how to manifest destiny, and that's what I do. That's what my manifest destiny stuff is. So I wasn't planning on doing an explanation video today, so I'll try to do a little bit of blessing. But I bless you now with grace and for grace in all of us. Now we have what we want. So New Year, March 22nd would be the new year for another new year that's supposedly something Charlie Freak and others have said is, from I've heard from a friend or others, that I didn't specifically hear or notice whether he did or not, but it sounds like he did. From what my friend told me, who I trust that individual, because they're pretty accurate about things. They're amazing. So cool. And so March 22nd of this year, 2021, or supposed 2021, would be the new year. So equivalently, the way I look at it is I follow all the calendars where we've been told that we might be in a portal form of year, a loop portal connection year. And it gets deep, and I'd have to explain it another time, but it has to deal with avatar cartoon and Korra and opening the spirit portals and the convergence and spirit realm to human realm, and now everything is converged in one again, and you can go between the two different times. So the golden age and then the start of the beginning of this age connecting with the golden age. So you can walk through each side and go to that future place if you're able to be connected. But you don't have to. You stay in this realm, but you can go into the spirit realm connection, which goes to the future realm of the golden age, which is everything connected form, which is higher density level than what the Earth is turning into. So we're becoming a new realm of Earth, but then we'll connect back to the fairies and the Fae world and all that stuff, where they already are here. Some of them are, but some of them can't be seen, and they're different types of beings, and they're not in avatar form. Some of them took avatar bodies and have been talking and been around us, but now their real form will be seen, and they won't need to hide anymore. They'll be able to be seen, and we can finally know what they are, and who are the good ones, and who are tricksters that are no longer tricksters anymore, won't be allowed to be. They'll have to be, except for those that want them to, for them. And so we'll all be balanced to be our own full self. So March 22nd, 2021 would be the new year according to certain calendars, which would be interesting, ancient ones that are supposedly the correct one. And that would actually be also connected to 2012, ending and turning into 2013. So that means March 11th, 2021 is, drum roll, 12/21/12. March 11th, 2021 would actually be what Mayan calendars and others talk about the new age change, or the new beginning. It's not really the ending, it's the new beginning. Everything that's happened and has been told has been foretold, and they made it sound like it was a destruction, but really it's a destruction of the old system and the new system of the golden age, or of the Bronze Age going into the golden age. And so that is what's happening. And so things are changing, and we're shifting into what's called the Bronze Age, and then we're going to go into the full golden age. And then that is what it is, but it starts. So that's the abundance age. We're going into the abundance age, but we can shift straight to the 2021 connection, because once we go into this connection, some of us have been delayed so long that we should be in the future form of golden age connection. So we've achieved the golden age, but now we're getting into the Bronze Age, because it's a replay of what we already all were, and now it's ending, and we don't have to worry about all of that. And then finally we'll just skip ahead and be the real form of what we really are, because the Bronze Age and all of them, it's where all free knowledge and free stuff is told, and it's just goes up from there. So it's interesting that my name also, Samuel Durbis, connects, and it might be Samuel S. Durbis, but I think it was Samuel Durbis, connects to Clearfield, Utah, which is weird because Clearfield is a clear field. I've always been told by others, and I've seen it myself, that I have a clear, crystallized aura, that I always have a light crystal aura, that I have the God crystal clear quartz aura, which is the crown chakra aura, or the highest spiritual crown chakra aura connection that we all are. That is the one that we see the most. Now, others also see their aura within me, because I am all auras. So when people see me a certain color, not everybody's going to see me the same aura, because I'm all the auras. And I'm like, well, that makes sense now, because I've been noticing that a lot. One of the biggest auras that reaches out to me is the pink quartz, though. The feminine quartz and the violet. I am the violet frequency a lot, because the natural pink reaches out to me to make me that violet connection. Blue happens to be one of my favorite colors. At the same time, blue-green has always been something that I liked more together. And I've heard that that is Christ's eyes. And I've seen that in my Tibetan singing bowls, where it's always a blue-green turquoise color. It's a turquoise blue-green, and you can see the blue-green to it. And it's not quite turquoise because it's not that light. It's a little bit more more pleasant for me to see it in the way that I would want to see it in. And it's beautiful. And I'm just like, that is awesome that the bowl's frequency is doing the voice of the voice chakra and the heart chakra as one, which would be what I do. I speak from the heart. And it knows that I do, and it knows that I love it and want to love it, just autopilot style. And so I just let it be known that I always care about everything and everything, even if I don't acknowledge or say it. I really want to say it. If I knew that it's wanted to say, I want to say it more genuinely, that I do love you all. I love everybody individually for what they feel they need to be loved for what they feel their path is. And I love you for the good that you do, not any harm or abuse that has been done to you or that you have chosen to do to others. That's your choice to do that. But I forgive you and love you and hope that you follow your heart and start healing those pains and not do them anymore to yourself or to others. And so this is about the heart. So anyway, so March 11th, 2021 would be December 21st, 2012 connection. And even if it's just 2020 connection, it would still be the Aquarius day that the Prophesy connection would connect with based on everything that we've seen. If not, then this year we just got into, it won't be until March 11th, 2022 that would be the 12, or I would say actually March, let's go a little bit further than, a little bit past that. Now I got to think on this, and I'll have to do another video on it. But basically, whatever date would be 12/21 for next year in 2022, that would be the possible connection if it's in a 2021 year. And that's what I noticed. So it may not be December 12th, 2021. It actually may go to March something. So I'll have to look at that and decipher it and then do another video. But bless you all. Take care. Your desires are already now.